Whether your dental practice is struggling to grow, starting to plateau, or already doing well but not reached its full potential, and you feel that your team or your marketing should be driving more of that growth, this will show you why.
Let's be honest, if you're a private dental practice owner, the chances is that you've already invested in growing your dental practice. You might have invested in things like marketing agencies, courses, consultants, and even coaching. And to be fair, you might be getting some level of results with that. But despite that, you might be feeling that things aren't as efficient as they could be, or your team aren't contributing to the growth as they should be. Your marketing spend might not be giving you the return on your investment like you expected, and too much still depends on you driving everything forward. So, even if the practice is moving, it's not moving to the level that it should be. And if this resonates, you're not really doing anything wrong. The reality is, most practices don't stall because of effort. They stall because the systems behind their effort are not aligned.
And if you're skeptical watching this, that's totally understandable. You've probably taken some action and already seen some level of results. My name is Dr. Rahul Doshi, and I'm joined here with Dr. Bhavna Doshi. And over the last 30 years, we've worked with hundreds of dental practices. From those trying to stabilize growth, to those building momentum, and to those scaling into multi-practice groups, helping them how their team performs, how their marketing converts, and how their overall systems support growth. So results become more consistent, more predictable, and far less dependent on the principle. What experience has shown us is that growth challenges are rarely due to one single issue.
In some practices, there's a lack of patients coming to the practice. In others, patients are coming in, but growth seems to be inconsistent, unpredictable, and harder than it should be. And what we've found is that the problem is rarely one thing on its own. Most practices grow in fragments. So if one area is growing, another is holding them back. So marketing improves, but conversions doesn't. The team might improve, but the systems that should support them don't. Revenue grows, but the complexities and pressures grow with it. So despite your efforts, the business never feels fully aligned. And that's where the business starts to slow. So what do we do different? Well, we see the entire practice as one ecosystem, as one structure and one system. And that's because sustainable, consistent growth doesn't come from isolated tactics or reactive actions or short-term fixes. It comes from alignment in your leadership, in your team performance, in patient experience and your growth strategies. And more importantly, there's never a one-size-fits-all approach. We use multiple proven frameworks, and it's really important that we then adapt those frameworks to suit the needs of the practices specifically. And that's because every practice is different. The business owner is different, the team is different, the market is different, the services might be different, and the business objectives are different. And the direction the business owner wants to take the practice in. Because when all these things are integrated, that's when growth becomes more predictable, more scalable, and far less reliant on you to constantly drive the business forward.
So what does this look like in practice? We first take a step back and look at the entire practice, not just one area. We look at your marketing, your patient journey, your communication, your team structure, and how the practice converts opportunities into growth. Because in some practices, there are clear gaps. Things aren't in place, and those practices need structure. In others, everything is there, but things aren't connected, and that's where growth slows or plateaus. And there are those practices performing well, but they want to refine, optimize, and scale further. Each practice is different, so the strategy has to be different as well. We map out a clear plan and start building the systems to support it. This may mean improving your patient journey, refining how you present treatment plans, and strengthening how your team communicate, or creating, improving, or refining your marketing strategy. So instead of relying on more spend, more effort, or more pressure, you begin to rely on clarity, systems, and structure that consistently support your growth.
And when that happens, something bigger changes as well. Not just the performance of the practice, but the role you play in it. Most practice owners don't want to be the center of everything, continuously pushing the practice forward, holding everything together, problem solving all the time. What they really want is the business to perform at a high level and high performance without continuously needing their energy and attention. And that shifts everything. More clarity, better decisions, and less pressure. Overall, more control of where the business is heading. And for many business owners, that's where the real opportunities begin. Because once your practice becomes well integrated and structured, that's when it can be transferable and scalable, which means you are no longer restricted to the one site. You could move locations, have multiple sites, and really grow a business with stronger long-term value, but more importantly, giving you more freedom, not less. Because real growth isn't just about getting bigger. It's about building something that is efficient, scalable, and less dependent on you over time.
And this is something that we've seen from multiple perspectives, not just as business coaches, but as practice owners. We've owned multiple practices that we've grown and scaled. We've also worked with hundreds of practices through our coaching. And we've also been part of the executive management of Dentex Healthcare, which scaled from 0 to 185 practices within a 5-year period. So we've had the opportunity to see what really drives growth across a wide range of practices, not just in theory, but in real environments with real teams, real patients, and real challenges. And one of the biggest advantages of the experience was that we were able to look at data across multiple practices. We got to understand what was working and what wasn't, and more importantly, why. And through that process, we've been able to refine and build systems that consistently drive performance and growth. Systems that we've tested, adjusted, and proven across different types of practices. And ultimately, that's what we bring to our coaching. Not ideas, not theory, but systems shaped through real-world experience and applied in practices just like yours. And what we've seen time and time again is that when those systems are applied properly, everything changes. The pressure reduces, the team become more aligned, and the growth becomes much more predictable, as the systems aren't dependent on one person, i.e. the principal.
So, if you're looking to take your practice to the next level, whether that's improving performance, breaking through plateaus, or scaling efficiency, then the next step is simple. You can apply below for a complimentary practice growth strategy call for us to help identify those aspects of your practice for increased profits and for growth, and to understand your practice a little bit better, and to see if this is the right fit for you.
If it is, we'll map out what that could look like for your practice. If it isn't, at least you'll leave with clarity. So if this feels relevant for you, go ahead and schedule a call.